have any thoughts about the murder?
Oh, well, that's not really my field of expertise, but I'm sure there are probably some clues at the crime scene. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
I heard that Juliana and Ezra had an argument a few days before he was found dead. Tell me about that.
Well, I was in my lab at the time, so I didn't hear it. But Juliana has always been rather critical of Mr. Parker. I think she found something in the overseer's office. I wasn't listening when she told me about it. I kind of had my head in my research. I don't know, really. I try to let her handle all the money stuff. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
Tell me about yourself.
Oh, well, I'm a scientist. You've probably met my wife, Juliana, already. I'm not sure what else to say, really. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
Tell me about your research.
Well, I was one of the leads on the team that created the first robo-brains, the precursors to our model. Most people don't find it all that interesting, and I'd rather not bore you. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
I'd like to hear more about your research.
Oh, wonderful. No one else here really wants to talk about it. Functionally, this model is more or less the same as the previous versions I worked on, but without the neural inhibitor and the reconditioning. The voice modulator seems to have some minor issues interfacing with the neural matrix, which can add some moodiness. But that's easily solved with regular tune-ups. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
Robo-brains have a voice modulator. Tell me about that.
That's what allows us to recreate our original voices. They can mimic any normal human voice, actually. I have speculated for some time that the issues we had with our recruited subjects is due to the brain attempting to preserve a sense of self. Maintaining our original voices helps reinforce the neural network, sort of like playing music for an Alzheimer patient. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
I'd like to hear more about your research.
I'm afraid that's really all I should say about it. I mean, it is still classified, but I wanted to help with the investigation. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
Maybe later.
Very well. I'll just get back to my work then.
Oh, of course. Silly me.
Just let me have a look at the neural interface matrix, and
Hello,
I'm sure
Detective.
I can clear that.
Did you have a question about the heinous murder?
Did you have any thoughts about the murder?
If you ask me, it's one of those actors. Or that horrible painter. Their type is always the cause of violence.
I heard you had a big fight with Ezra a few days ago. Care to explain?
Oh, well, it wasn't that big a deal, really. He wanted more money to pay for repairs on the hotel. I wasn't feeling well that day and lashed out a bit at the poor man. I really should have listened to him more.
What's with all the junk in here?
These are our things. We're just waiting till the war blows over so we can bring them back to the mansion.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm Juliana Riggs, heiress to the Riggs fortune and wife of Bert Riggs. I'm not sure what else you expected, Detective.
Maybe later.
Good luck catching the murderer, Detective. No, it's not that. I've just caught another cold. Probably something that got in when they sent Pearl out.
Oh, God. Not this again. Last month you were convinced you had the measles.
You're not a doctor. What would you even know about it? Besides, I think it may be malaria.
First of all, I am a doctor.
Yes, but not a real doctor. Robotics isn't an actual medical degree.
Secondly, I've told you time and again, you can't get sick inside the suit. It's not physically possible.
I know when I'm getting sick, Bert. Now Now, why don't you just wander off and play in your lab? Mr. Scruffy and I are going to rewrite the will, so he will get everything when I die, because horrible Bert, believe me.
Oh, God, Juliana.
Have fun,
Whatever.
dear.
I'm going to the lab.
Hello, Detective. Did you have a question about the heinous murder?
Did you have any thoughts about the murder?
If you ask me, it's one of those actors. Or that...
Did you have any thoughts about the
If
murder?
you ask me.
Maybe later.
Good luck catching the murderer, Detective.
Heard about experiments like this. Human decency must have been in short supply back then.
Hello, Detective. Did you need something?
Have you noticed Juliana acting strangely lately?
Oh, well, I'm probably just being paranoid, but she's been so much more pleasant lately. I mean, it's been nice, but also a bit unnerving. Most people don't really understand us, but I always appreciated how she can just take charge of a situation. It's what allowed me to focus on my research. I'm worried something has happened to her. She doesn't seem like the same person. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
What do you mean Juliana's not the same person?
My wife has always been a very harsh woman, Detective. I don't know who it is in our rooms, but that is not my wife, Detective. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
Did you have any thoughts about the murder?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Please just go. Hello again. Did you need something?
I'd like to hear more about your research.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Please just go.
Nice.
Progress on construction of the second wing of the vault is completely stalled. Once a premier area...
Sounds like Ezra was embezzling from his investors.
By tomorrow.
Oh, I want to believe you, I do, but never let us go.
Then we'll make our stand here. I've got a gun for each of us.
No, 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 no. The line is, then we'll make our stand here. Two lovers together with a bullet for each of them.
God, why can't I ever get that line? Forget it. I can't do this right now.
Fine. I'm going to the beach. Isn't the brave detective. I haven't seen someone with a body like that in far, far too long.
You're not so bad yourself.
You should have seen me before all this. Red hair that was the envy of every girl and legs for days, darling. I'm sure you'd rather hear some of my stories from the silver screen rather than talk about that nasty murder business.
I must say, you're quite the actress.
What can I say? It just comes naturally. Surely you must be here for my salacious stories of the silver screen.
Tell me something.
Sure, darling. What did you need?
Apparently, Juliana had a big argument with Ezra a few days before he died. Did you happen to overhear any of the conversation?
Oh, yes. I haven't seen a woman go off like that since Teresa Dubois fired her costume designer. But to get back to your question, it was fever pitch, Detective. She had apparently gone to the Overseer's office to check on the state of things and found it in horrible disrepair. But, and this is where it gets interesting, it sounded like she found something that really set her off. Couldn't hear what, though. Did you need something else?
Did you have any thoughts about the murder?
Well, it is a bit strange how obsessed Santiago has been with the murder. I mean, he's always been a bit obsessive, though. He did a whole series of paintings of me, hundreds, said I was his muse. It was flattering for a while, but the man is a bit much, even for me. Did you need something else?
I found Keith's baseball bat at the scene of the murder. Any thoughts on how it got there?
I don't know, Detective. I can't really imagine Keith killing Ezra. Did you need something else?
I've gotten the impression you've had an affair with Santiago.
Look, I love Keith, I do. But sometimes he just can't give me the attention I need. A girl gets lonely, Detective. It only lasted a few dozen years. The man's a bit much, even for me. Did you need something else?
What were you and Keith talking about when I came in?
Oh, that? We were rehearsing. Gotta stay sharp if we're going to rebuild Hollywood. But Keith always gets flustered when he's upset. Did you need something else?
Tell me about yourself.
My favorite subject. Simply put, darling, I'm the greatest actress in the world. When this international scuffle blows over, I shall return to the silver screen and lead the world to a new golden age of cinema. Did you need something else?
Maybe later.
I'll be around, languishing from your inattention.
Hello, Detective. How can I help? Did you have questions about the case?
Did you have any thoughts about the murder?
It's obviously Santiago. He keeps going back to look at the crime scene.
I found your baseball bat at the crime scene. Care to explain how it got there?
Someone is clearly trying to frame me for the murder. It's probably Santiago. You saw him skulking around the crime scene.
What were you and Gilda talking about when I walked in?
Oh, we were just rehearsing a scene. Nothing to worry about.
Maybe later.
Okay. Just let me know how I can help.
Excellent.
That thing's 3 times as old as I am. That's saying something. I'd rather die than be stuck in one of these rat holes.
Hey,
I'm listening. You need something?
your thoughts?
Sealing yourself up in a steel hole to escape the bombs. Sounds like trading one kind of hell for another one.
Are things all right between us?
Don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure out if you're worth a damn.
It's time for us to part ways.
Come find me if you need me again, and I'll be ready. Might even be sober, too.
Hi.
We heading out?
That's right. Let's get going.
Off to you, then.
That's it.
protect, and serve.
Hello, Detective. Did you have a question about the heinous murder?
I found some evidence that Ezra was embezzling from you and the other investors.
Oh, well, I really don't believe that. Mr. Parker wouldn't do such a thing, I'm sure.
Never mind.
Good luck catching the murderer, Detective. Hello, Detective. Did you have a question about the heinous murder?
Did you have any thoughts about the murder?
If you ask me, it's one of those actors. Or that horrible painter. Their type is always the cause of violence.
Never mind.
Good luck catching the murderer, Detective. Hello, Detective. Did you have a question about the heinous murder?
I think you're the real murderer.
That's just silly, Detective. Why would I want to kill Mr. Parker?
Maybe you could give me a reason it couldn't be you.
I'm sick all the time, Detective. I don't have the strength to do such a thing.
I'm not sure yet.
It's not me, Detective. Clearly, you should be looking at that actor. Hello, Detective. Did you have a question about the heinous murder?
I think you're the real murderer.
That's just silly, Detective. Why would I want to kill Mr. Parker?
Give it up. I know your secret, Juliana. Or should I say, Ezra?
Well, Detective, that's quite the claim.
It's a shame. I thought I could keep the ruse going a little longer. Oh, well. Had to end eventually, I suppose. This doesn't have to end in more violence, Detective. Just walk away. I'll leave, and you can tell them I escaped.
Why did you kill Juliana?
I hadn't planned on it, but Juliana figured out what I was doing and had to be dealt with swiftly. I thought I could get a bit more money out of this place before making my escape. What's it going to be, Detective? Join me in getting rich? Or die defending some outdated ideals?
Not a chance. Your murder spree stops here.
Then let us end this.
Always sell what we can use ourselves.
I found the killer. It was Ezra. He killed Juliana and took her place to hide his tracks.
My word. I never thought Mr. Parker was capable of something like this. What happened when you confronted him?
coming.
You did the right thing, Detective. There you are, Detective. Payment for your services and a bonus for uncovering such a heinous plot. I don't think we could have done it without you. Sir?
Protect and serve.
That was quite the commotion. Did you need something, Detective? Need to restock on hunting or fishing supplies?
What have you got?
Keepsakes, hunting equipment, and a variety of small personal items. Forgot a personal item at home.
Let's see what you got.
Something for everyone.
Protect and serve.
stay sane in a place like this.